Everything starts with an idea, but that idea has to turn into thoughts, practical thoughts about whether or not something is possible. But what if in that moment we're making a big mistake by deciding the outcome right there and then? Well, I'm Hector, and after years of leading teams and taking on big challenges across the public and private sectors, I know what it means to wrestle with an idea that you want to turn into reality. But the best outcomes I've had came from the times when I had the most faith in what we were doing from the very start. There were no reservations. Naivete or not, I believed I had what it took to get it done. Because there's something real about beginner's luck. When we approach something without baggage, our minds are clearer, we're more effective, and over time, of course, we let experiences that we label as negative start to blunt our enthusiasm and cloud our judgment a bit. And ironically, we actually make more mistakes. We're less present, we're less focused and committed. In essence, once we decide we can't do something, we can't. And I struggle with this today. I'm sure many of you still do. I have to constantly continue to work on it. And we're hardwired to worry. But great leaders learn to protect our faith from that by using strategies, and you put things in perspective. And someone who really understood risk and reward was Seneca, and he said, it's not because things are difficult that we dare not venture. It's difficult because we didn't venture. And 2,000 years later, we're still dealing with this problem. For example, we could make our cities better. We could get people off the streets, ensure no child goes hungry. Trust me, I've been on the inside of these issues. The solutions exist. But assumptions, preferences, politics, and prejudices just undermine the progress. And we say we can't fix it, so we don't. And we can make our companies better, benefiting our colleagues, ourselves, and everybody around us. But it might mean risk and might be taking a short-term loss for a long-term gain. So we say we can't, so we don't. And we could be happier and healthier and surrounded by love and purpose, but it requires some effort and a lot of change and some risk again. And so we decide we can't, and so we don't. And Norman Vincent Peale, Mr. Positivity, wrote about this stuff for decades, and he said, worry is a habit. It got into your mind because you practice it. And anything that you practice, you can practice out. So here are a few tools that I've worked into my life and they work incredibly well, and I think they'll help you. The first is the yet technique. Anytime you catch yourself saying you don't have something, you don't know something, you can't do something, you just add one word, yet. So you say, I don't like what I'm doing, becomes, I don't like what I'm doing yet. It's a small change, but it's a massive shift in the way that you think, and it impacts your outcomes. The next, and you've heard me say this before, is practice gratitude. It pulls us out of comparison and the things that suck our joy out of our lives, and it brings us back to a realistic understanding of who we are and how far we've come. And the third, and this is really important, is we need to surround ourselves with positivity. We need to turn off the news, put the phone away, go for a walk, go for a workout, be present with people who energize you in a positive way. I've always liked the saying, positive anything is better than negative nothing. So we decide early on whether or not we can or can't do something. And the best leaders remember what Peel said, it's always too early to quit. So say today, not yet. Reflect on what you already have done. Be grateful to yourself and surround yourself with good things. And you'll realize it may have been the clearest decision you've ever made on your path to success.